Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this channel for another day. In today's video, we are going to talk about your IP. So if you want to know exactly what an IP is, and if you can be hacked in any way with it, this is your video. This video consists of two parts. In the first part of the video, I'm going to explain what exactly an IP is and how many types there are. And in the second part of the video, I'm going to explain how you can be hacked with it. I will start by explaining that an IP is nothing more than a number. It is a unique number that identifies a device within a network. And that is why we have two IPs whenever we are connected in a local network and on the internet. One is the private IP or internal IP and the external IP or public IP. The private IP that each of your devices has is the number that helps to identify each device within your private network. That is, in your local network, in your home. Since all the devices that are connected to the same router form a private network or a local network, as you like to call it. Now let's go to the other one, the public IP. The public IP is similar to the private IP since it also identifies a device within a network, but in this case on a larger scale since the public IP is the one that identifies us in the largest network in the world, that is, on the internet. As I said before, an IP identifies a device within a network, right? Well, in this case, this public IP identifies your router within the network that is the internet. Since this is the device that connects to the internet directly, and that is why all the devices in your home have the same public IP, because it is the same IP from which they go out to the internet, the IP of your router. That is why if any service bans your IP, not only will be banning access to that service from your computer or your mobile, but no device that connects from that same router will be able to access this service. Well, now that we are clear about what an IP is, let's explain if we can be hacked in any way or what information they can get from us with our IP. Let's start by talking about hacks with our private IP. As we have already learned, this IP is something internal, something inside our local network at home or wherever we are working. Therefore, we can only receive attacks from within our own network. That is, we can only be attacked if we are connected to an open Wi-Fi network or if we have an intruder on our Wi-Fi. Yes, there are many people who do not take this into account, but when you connect to a free Wi-Fi network, what you are doing is getting into a local network where there are many strangers, and we do not know the people with what intention gets into that network. With your private IP, there are few things they can do to you, but one of them is to look at your shared network files. Since there are folders that by default, depending on your operating system, share some files with the entire local network. Therefore, anyone who is inside that network could get to these files. So I recommend that you check which files your computer is sharing on the local network. Another thing that could happen is that our security permissions are misconfigured or we have an infection on our computer and they could take control of our machine from another computer within the same local network. But honestly, I think this is unlikely. So with the private IP, they can do very little to us. And with the public IP, what happens? Is it the same? Nothing happens? More or less. Remember that the public IP is the IP with which we go out to the internet. So here we could receive attacks from anywhere in the world. One of the easiest things to do when you have someone's IP is to locate it geographically, since there are many pages on the internet to which, if you put an internet IP, you will be able to see from where that person is connecting. It is not very accurate, but it might even be able to find out in which city you are connecting. Here is a note: I can tell you that not all IPs in the world are the same. There are IPs that are restricted to specific areas of the world, and that is why they can locate you. The second thing they could do with your IP is, as we said earlier in the video, is to ban you or block you from some internet services. Normally, when they block you from a service, they don't do it with your user, they do it with your IP. And as we have said before, as all the devices in a network have the same public IP, if they block your public IP, they will have blocked all the devices in your house. But well, here I also have to tell you that if you want to change your public IP, there are many programs on the internet that will change your public IP, or you can use a VPN or proxy service. And if you don't want to make a big deal out of it, just turn off your router for a while, and you will have a new IP when you turn it back on. And the third and last thing they could do with your public IP is to get absolutely all your contact information. But in your favor, I will tell you that not just anyone can do this, as you will usually need a court order to access this data. And how is this possible? You have to know that your IP is assigned by the company that gives you internet. So they know at all times what your IP is, and your IP is associated with a contract number with a real physical person. So if the police want to know your private information, they only have to ask your company for this IP to whom it has been associated. So I recommend that if you want to do something a little illegal, either hide your IP with a proxy, or at least with a VPN, or do it from a friend's house, which is much simpler. And this is the end of today's video. I hope you have learned a little more about IPs and internet security in general. If you like web security, you can go through my channel. I have quite a few videos talking about it. See you in the next video. Bye.